Hi, everybody. We're going to do a continuation of our music theory today. You might recall that we used Change the World for the song we're kind of looking at while we're doing this theory. And you might also recall that Laura did what B looks like because the song Change the World is in the key of B. In fact, I guess, let me find that screen first this time. Okay, here's the one I want you to look at, the key of B. Here's what the B looks like for the leads and for the tenors. Yeah, up here in the treble clef, here's what it looks like in the bass clef. Now, we talked about the tonal center or pitch number 1 last week. This week we're going to talk about pitch number 8. 8 is still Do. 1 and 8 are both Bs. And they're 8 notes apart, calling them an octave. And I'm going to go ahead and count that out just so you can see. B being the space below this ledger line, middle C. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, the 8th step. Down here in the bass clef, you see B is on the second line. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the way I used to make my kids remember octave is, how many legs does an octopus have? How many sides does an octagon have? Well, an octave has 8 steps in between it. So just remember octave, 8. Okay, and I'm going to let you see what that looked like on the keyboard because I really liked the way that Laura did that last week. Here's the B, where my thumb is. That would be number 1. And here's how you find its position. Here are the 2 black notes, the group of 2 black notes. Just to the left of the 2 black notes is middle C or C. In this case, it is middle C. But all the C's on your keyboard, if you have a keyboard and you want to find out how many C's you have, find the group of 2 black notes, and just to the left of it is the C. Go backwards in the alphabet 1 step, you get the B. 8 notes away, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is another B. You can see my pinky is playing that. I tried to draw my fingers back so you could see all the keys. Okay. Let me go to Change the World. This is our first measure here. We are in the key of B. The other way you know that it's the key of B is it has 5 sharps in it. And you'll have to ignore some of my markings because I had it marked quite a bit already before I knew I was going to be teaching this. So there are some extra markings. But I did add a few things just so that you could see it. In the very first measure, basses start right out on B, and it's the number 1 B. This is going to be the tonal center, number 1. Look how the basses stay on that B all the way through those 2 measures, and actually beyond. The basses have a lot of B's in this, and they're going to be crucial in keeping us in pitch, obviously, because of all of those do's or B or tonal center or 1. All those words are interchangeable. You might notice that I use a red, and when I have a string of them, I just kind of highlight all the way through with my red pencil. The reason I use red is because it's the colors of the rainbow. I always start the do on the red. When I taught and had boom whackers, if you've ever heard of those tubes that you can hit against yourself, I'll have to bring them to chorus sometime. And we'll have boom whackers to warm up with. But they're built in the colors of the rainbow. Now the tenors also have B. And their B is going to be number 8 for them. And then I've got this big old 8 around it. Can you guess why? Well, that's how I mark octaves for my piano students so that they would know they had the same note. But it'd probably be easier for you all if you're going to go through and mark octaves with someone, maybe use a highlighter. And that's what this pink is doing, is marking that the basses and the leads are on Bs at the same time, though they are actually 2 octaves apart. But they still will have to make their pitch match, starting right off the bat at the beginning. All right, these 2 measures also show that the baritones come in with their first chance at a B. Now this B would be considered number 8 for the baritones because we're actually going to be singing in the same place as the tenors are on that B. So we're actually going to be kind of high. Now here's a berry tip for us. The rest of you can close your ears if you want to, just for a bit. This song really keeps us berries in our mask because we have to sing pretty high in this song. As a matter of fact, you might notice I have my X's here for all the times that we're higher than the leads. And that happens, I'm going to say 2/3 of the time in this song, we are actually higher than the leads are. So anyway, there's our first B, and you know what I haven't marked here yet though? The berries are in an octave here with the basses. So if we haven't found that note on our way up the hill here, we can hear the basses and match it up. Now let's find the first place that the leads get to sing do. Not until measure 9, leads, and you will have the number 1. You'll be down low. And notice that you are going to be in an octave here with the basses on Bs. That will be an octave. They will be singing. Oh, you know what? They're going to be on the same note as you are here, because you have to, not only do we berries and basses sing in bass clef, but we actually transpose it up an octave from where we're singing. And I understand why they do that, because when you're writing, it's way easier to, in your head, learn to go up an octave than it is to write all kinds of ledger notes, ledger lines to show where you are. Okay, you might also notice that the basses and leads have their octaves again here. Also notice though, that the basses are going to sing alone on beat 1. The rest of us come in on the upbeat or the and of beat 1. So tenors will hear the basses before they would sing their B. Presumably they'll be in pitch and then the tenors can jump right in. Let's see, what else did I want to tell you about this? Go to your last page and look at the very last measure. And I forgot to take a picture of this, so you're going to have to use your own music to look it up. But you will notice on that last page that the basses and the leads again are on their octave Bs to finish the whole thing out. And then lo and behold, I said that wrong. The basses and the tenors are getting their octaves. I hope I haven't done that wrong all the way through. If I did, you're going to have to do some transposing in your brain on that. And then the leads are here on D at the end, just like they are in the beginning, and the berries are on the same note that we started on too. This song is a nice little bookend. We start and we end on the same notes. So if you can get that tonal memory stuck in your head, that would be really helpful on this one. Those other measures I had, I was just pointing out some more Bs. Let me find them again. Here's another example of the leads. It starts out the measure with the tenors having a B. And you'll see I've been drawing triangles around them. That's some weird thing I happened to run across and remembered about shape notes in the, I think it was the 18th century that shape notes were used a lot. That's how the Quakers learned to sing a cappella. So the tenors have it here at the beginning of measure 17, and the leads have it at the very end on the word inside. Now, once you have all of your 1s and 8s, or your Bs, if that's what you want to call them, your tonal centers marked, then when you go through and practice, blow the pitch pipe every time you come across one of the notes that's colored in. Measure 17 is the same thing. The tenors have the B at the beginning of the measure. The leads have it at the end. That's the same thing. Here's another example of where the tenors have it. And I noticed the tenors get to have the melody here in this section, around 62. Here's the tenors, and the tenors have a string of Bs. And down at the bottom, there sits the basses on a whole note B for the whole measure. Let me look at my notes really quick to see if I said everything I wanted to say. And I think I did. That is your lesson on step 8 of the scale. Back together with you so we can sing all the scale notes together. Good luck, and until then, sing with you in just a bit here. Bye-bye.